So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of in uncharted territory here. I do have some movies I'm currently reviewing. Today's is a little different, which is why I said we're getting into uncharted territory. It is a movie, but it's a movie that not only was released solely to a streaming site, actually the newest streaming site, Peacock, but it was based off of one of my all-time favorite shows. Actually, my all-time favorite show called Psych, which had 8 seasons and ended up finishing up, I think, somewhere around like 2014, 2015, and originally aired on USA Network. And the movie today that I'm going to be talking about is Psych 2, Lassie Come Home. That's right, this is a sequel to Psych the movie, which came out 3 years ago in 2017. And I'm going to be talking to you about it today. Now, I've been anticipating this for quite a while. I'm one of the biggest Psych fans you will ever meet. It's definitely one of those cult classics that I've become a fan of. And so I've been waiting to give you this review for quite a while. It's unfortunate that I'm giving you this review while I'm still in quarantine, but you know, gotta find ways to keep myself occupied. So anyway, I'm gonna start off by actually comparing this to the first movie and then comparing it to the show, because this isn't a movie just like the first movie that you should watch have you not watched the series. This is a movie that you definitely should watch if you have enjoyed the series, though, because just like the first movie, you will definitely enjoy this if you were a fan of the series like me. Now, what I'm going to say is, compared to the first movie, this one I didn't quite enjoy it as much. I did enjoy it. It did have a lot of the classic Psych moments, and there were some pretty well-executed moments. And a lot of that, just like in the first movie, is a lot of build-up from 14 years of the series kind of being about and whatnot and what it built up to, but a lot of what Psych 2 did was not as good as what happened in the first Psych movie, and quite frankly wasn't as good as a lot of the best story arcs in the show. The show had some phenomenal story arcs, including the Yin and Yang story arc. That's probably one of the best things I've ever seen put to TV.
I want to inspire people. I can't do any of that if I'm dead.
You inspire me.
I like to think I'm a mess you'd wear with pride.
I'm just not cut out for this.
It's okay.
Maybe I'll tell you sometime.
I'm sorry, Abigail.
Call me. You ever decide to stop chasing psychopaths?
Now, that being said, this movie tried to do the same thing. It wasn't anything related to that story arc, but they tried to do the same thing. Now, this movie takes place, it seems like, a few months to a year after what happened in the first movie, and it centers around a character we actually didn't get to see very much in the first movie, but he was a regular in the show, and that is Carlton Lasseter, played by Timothy O'Munson. And I will say, it was so nice that this movie centered around his character, and it was genius what they did with his character. He wasn't in the first movie all that much, because the actual actor himself ended up having a stroke, and you could definitely tell based on the story of this movie that they wrote around that and decided, you know what, we're gonna kind of write in Carlton Lasseter as, like, his character also had a stroke from a case that he was on that ended up going wrong. He ended up getting shot, almost dying, and he's just in dire straits, and he ends up hiring his good friends, Sean and Gus, to end up solving the case and figure out who actually killed him, simply because he doesn't remember a thing. It was so nice to see what the backstory of this character that we came to know and love through the 8 seasons of this series, and the way they introduced him definitely really fit with the character. The writing in this was pretty good. There were a few things related to the actual way that they solved the case and arrested people that was a little convoluted. And that was one of the biggest detractors of the film. But you don't watch Psych for the plot. You watch it for the comedy, you watch it for the characters. And in terms of that, it was really good. There were some scenes, especially one between Sean and his father, that was really just well executed. And you could tell that the 14-year buildup from the series to this movie, in terms of the relationship between Sean and his dad, really ended up playing into this scene and just making it such a wonderful emotional scene. And that being said, the way this film ended too was so much better than the first movie ended. Now, the first movie had a really cool ending. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it play out in this one, even though it had, one, a really special guest star, and two, it ended up showing us a character who we hadn't gotten to see in the series for quite a while, played by this really, really famous WWE guy. You can probably guess it's one of the 2 most famous ones in Hollywood right now. But anyway, but the way this film ended was much better because, again, it completely related to Carlton Lasseter, and there was sort of this character development of Lasseter throughout the movie that ended up really playing into the ending and really made the ending excellent. And I really hope, I can't wait to see, given what they did with this movie, what they're going to do in the third. That being said, I didn't like this movie quite as much as the first movie, or even some of the best story arcs in Psych. Psych hasn't been known for its plot, really. Like I said, it's always been more of a character-driven show, which is why a lot of people are big fans of Psych. They're fans of the childish comedy, the 2 main characters, and Sean and Gus and whatnot, and just the dynamic and the relationship between everyone, which was on point in this movie as well. But there were some story arcs and seasons in the actual series that were really excellent and well executed. Like I said, the Yin and Yang story arc, which I think took place over the course of like 2 or 3 seasons, was excellent. One of my favorite things I've ever seen on TV. And that being said, this movie didn't quite live up to that. I think it'd be pretty hard to live up to something like that, given that it's a movie that's kind of limited by time as opposed to something you can build up over the course of several episodes or even several seasons. That being said, I'm going to rate Psych 2, Lassie Come Home, take it or leave it. Again, I'm going to be on the take it side of this just because I'm a huge Psych fan, and if you're a huge Psych fan, you will definitely like this too. It didn't miss any of the beats of the original series, but if you weren't a big fan of Psych, or you just watch it as a casual viewer, you might not end up liking this movie. That being said, I'm going to end this video on letting you guys know, while I'm here in quarantine, I've actually decided I'm not going to post any more 30-day film challenge videos until I'm out of quarantine. I do have, again, one that's in the works right now that I'm working on editing. I will post that one here, hopefully, within the next few days. But after that one, I believe that one's day 16, I will be putting a hold on my 30-day film challenge videos until I get out of quarantine, whenever that is. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my next video.